Good morning. We are live in this cute little home in the city of Toronto. It looks and feels like Christmas. I love this time of year, but we also have to think about safety first. And this is a really important message because we know that oftentimes we could see fires happening within a home this time of year. So with some incredible safety tips, I'm going to bring in Paul. He is with the Electrical Safety Authority. Good morning.
Good morning, G. How are you today?
I'm feeling festive. It's so sweet in here. And, you know, we don't want to scare anybody, but the reality is that fires can happen this time of year.
Absolutely.
So what are some tips that we can give people at home to make sure that they are safe?
Yeah, great point, G. So holiday lighting and plug-in decor can be a wonderful way to celebrate the holidays, but if they're not done safely, they can cause real fire hazards or shock hazards. So that can put a real damper on the holidays, and we don't want that for anyone. Yeah. So the Electrical Safety Authority, ESA, wants to ensure safety is a priority while we're plugging in our lights. And we have a few key tips today to share so people can do just that.
Sure. What are some, like I know LED lights, people think it doesn't heat up, it's safe, but there's a rule of 3 that we should still follow.
Yeah, so you're right. LED lights draw less than incandescent, but they still draw a fair bit. So we should use a rule of thumb of 3 strings max. So we can plug one string into the next string into the next string, limit it to 3, and that way we're not going to overload the circuit and cause potentially a fire.
Okay, certification,
yeah,
that's
absolutely.
really important.
So really important, when you're buying your products, check for the recognized Canadian certification marking. You can go to esasafe.com for a full list, but if you if you're going online and shopping, products can come from all over the world. Yeah. So make sure they have the recognized certification marking. They may not be certified for use in Canada if they don't have it, and they may not be safe. So if you encounter any, return it to the store and report it to the ESA so we can follow up.
Report it to the ESA. So we've got a box of lights here. What am I looking for then?
Yeah, so here's a recognized certification marking here, and there are many others as well, but that's very important to do, especially if you're buying online.
Yes, and then examine the cords, right? That's a really important thing.
So take stock of your inventory.
Yes.
Go through everything, check for any damage, and if you find anything that looks like questionable, like damaged insulation or bare wires, that's a shock or fire hazard. Don't take the risks, throw it out, buy a new one.
Okay, great. Now, I know it's hard to avoid having like a power bar, but so what's a safe way of doing this?
Yeah, so never run them under carpets or under area rugs or even the tree skirt where they could be subject to mechanical damage, such as foot traffic or furniture legs. That could be a real fire hazard because you might not notice them getting pinched under there. So keep them in as safe as possible and out of harm's way if you can. And watch for kids or young children or pets because they get really curious, like to fiddle with things, and cats especially love to chew on wires. So keep an eye on them. I had a cat once loved chewing my cords. Thank goodness I caught him before he got electrocuted.
Right. So then, what do you do then to deter, for example, a cat from going into the tree or chewing on the cords?
Yeah, so one of the best things I've found is you can use scents. Cats don't like fabric softeners, citrus, coffee grounds. You could sprinkle a little bit around. For a lot of cats, even an orange peel I've heard from someone, that was wise tip someone told me. You can do that to help keep the cats out of the area. They just don't like those smells. So and of course, keep an eye on them.
Okay, and then we just have like 30 seconds left. Any other tips that you'd like to give?
Yeah, when you go to bed at night or leave the home, turn them off. And if you can't remember, whatever, just use a timer. And you don't have to remember. And for more great tips on holiday lighting safety, you can go to esasafe.com/holiday safety.
Okay, I love a timer because I'm lazy. I just want to be in bed and let it turn off on its own, right?
Exactly.
All right, amazing tips. I love it. esasafe.com. And then after this, we're actually going to go outside to give you more safety tips regarding the holiday decor and lights that you would put outside. Good morning. You're right. That's not how it works. It needs to be plugged in. How cute is this? It literally is a cottage in the city. This home is getting ready for the holiday season, but we want to make sure it's a safe holiday season. Joining me now is Paul Murray with the Electrical Safety Authority. Hi, good morning.
Jean. How are you?
Okay, this is super cute.
Yes, awesome.
Right, but you have to do this in a safe manner when you're doing outdoor decorations and lighting.
Absolutely. So holiday lighting and plug-in decor, inflatables can be a wonderful way to celebrate the holidays, but if they're not done safely, they can pose specific fire or shock hazards.
Right.
So Electrical Safety Authority wants to share a few key tips today to help people keep safe while doing so.
Okay.
So first thing we want to do is make sure that we're using equipment rated for outdoors, because we're in a wet environment, snow, rain, etc., extreme cold temperatures. You cannot use indoor-only equipment outdoors. It's not designed or certified for use and can pose a hazard.
Right. So one of the main things is the extension cords. Make sure it's an outdoor extension cord.
Yes.
Okay. And then when you get a box like this, look for the certification.
Certification marking always. You can go to esasafe.com to check that, and also look for typos or inconsistencies, misspelling. That could be a sign of fraud or counterfeit products.
Yeah, because there's so many counterfeit products out there. So
especially
typos online.
Yes.
Okay, so if there's any spelling mistakes or typos, that's a clue.
Yeah, you can always check with the Electrical Safety Authority. Report it to us if you find something you think's counterfeit.
Okay.
That's excellent.
Now,
second tip, you always want to plug into a ground fault circuit interrupter, GFCI outlet. You can tell by the little test reset buttons on them.
Right.
That'll protect you in case there's a current leak to ground. And in case you don't have any of these on the outside of your home, you have an older home, you can plug in a device like this that will add ground fault circuit protection for your circuit that you've plugged in and protect you just the same. You can get that at the local hardware store.
You can, right?
Yes.
And this is really good for a lot of the older homes like one here that we're looking at, right?
Yes.
Okay, really good tips. And then I know there's a rule of 3.
Yes.
How does that apply outside?
Outside, before you break out the ladder or tall poles or whatever to get to higher places, take a look up and note the power lines that are around your home. We want to always stay 3 meters away or 10 feet minimum from power lines.
Got it.
If you're thinking of decorating a tree that's
like
near power
one?
lines, abandon that idea and consider go with ground-based lighting that can project upwards and keep you out of harm's way.
Okay, yeah, so this is a really good example. You see the string of lights up there and how close it is to the power lines.
Exactly.
So you want to avoid having a ladder there?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And even have a spotter with you can help you in case you forget, you're focused on what you're doing at the moment. Have a spotter, keep you away from the power lines.
But the point is, look up.
Absolutely.
I never thought of that.
Yes.
Okay, and then we've got a ton of decorations here.
Yep.
How should we do this safely?
Yeah, so try and never run your cords across the walkway. You might forget or you walk on them, especially if it snows, you forget there, you contact them with a shovel or even a snow blower. And use clips. If you're connecting to the house or attaching to the house, don't use the Griswold stapling millions of them to the house. Don't use staples or nails. It could damage your cords.
Right.
But use approved clips. There's tons of really cool products that are approved for the east trough gutter soffit, and they won't damage your cables.
Okay. And any other information, you can always go to esasafe.com.
Yeah, exactly. And one other quick tip, if I may,
Yes.
taking down at the end of the year, not just because your neighbors might want you to, but because the prolonged exposure to the elements like extreme temperatures, UV rays, and even squirrels can damage your cables and really shorten their safe, useful life. So put them away carefully and they'll be working next year.
Yeah, so don't be one of those people that leaves your Christmas lights up during the summer. There's actually a safety factor involved in that,
exactly,
right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm looking at you. I know you. So again, esasafe.com. We don't want to scare people, but the reality is house fires do happen this time of year.
I've been to several, unfortunately, in my several years at DSA, and it's devastating. It could put a real damper on the holidays, and just keeping a few key tips in mind can help us have a lot of cheer in our celebrations for the season.
Okay, Paul, have a wonderful holiday.
You as well.
Always
Thanks,
nice
Jean.
seeing you.
Likewise.
Great tips for a safe and happy holiday.